Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Well, there's no super chats, not live. Got to represent the Veve in every way possible. So before we get started over on the incredible news and really what this video is going to be titled, I'm not sure what it's going to be titled yet, we have to talk about OMI. We don't talk about Bruno. Sorry. OMI is up about 3% on the day to 0008. And, well, Chavez, why is OMI up 3% on the day? Didn't we just get some bearish news that Disney has gone on and invested $1.5 billion with Epic Games? There's a whole trailer talking about the metaverse, talking about exactly all the stuff that you see Deadpool on there, you see stuff with Avatar, you see all of this major Disney IP, all of which we have on Veve. Why is that trailer bullish for OMI? It should be the opposite. There was no mention of Veve, there was no mention of Veveverse, or even anything having to do with crypto or blockchain or any of that. Why is that bullish? It seems like they're moving away from Veve. Well, there's a couple things, and we'll go over that. But right now, you see OMI going up because it's about 1.3 million in volume over the last 24 hours, which normally we only have like 650,000, so it's like doubled, which is great. And what's good for the metaverse, and people have heard me talk about this before for a long time, Mark Zuckerberg has a run rate of about $30 billion. He'll sustain that, if not go more. By the end, long story short, by like 2032, he will have spent $250 billion on his metaverse. For years, he spent $25 billion per year. It's recently been upped, and he will spend $250 billion by 2032. He even changed his name from Facebook to Meta. Granted, because he doesn't just own Facebook. He owns WhatsApp, he owns Instagram, a couple other things, and a couple other things he probably tried to buy, but failed. For him to go and do that is because the metaverse is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. And this way, with Disney going with Epic and kind of combining forces here and owning a nice big partnership for them, what does that mean? It's good for the space. It's going to grow the hobby. And when the hobby grows, that money is going to trickle down, a lot of which is going to be on the Veve and Veveverse. And the OMI token, which, yes, the OMI token might not be connected to this at all, but it is the metaverse, and OMI will be listed as a metaverse token at some point in the future when the Veveverse comes out. And again, more on Veveverse later. But right now, again, for that trailer, we have an epic picture to go over. Again, if you haven't seen that trailer, it's on my page, it's on Comics and Crypto's page, it's on a bunch of people's pages. And as I go here, and I show you guys the epic, beautiful picture that they had showed. And again, they showed Deadpool riding a scooter. They showed a whole bunch of stuff. What does that mean? Now that I've gone over the bearish case and why that could be bad for Veve, one, I have to say that that's wrong. I would say that there is less than a 1% chance that Disney's moving away from Veve. Did y'all forget that Marvel has a exclusive partnership with Veve, and there's not going to be any Marvel NFTs that are sold outside of Veve for a very long time. So, which again, this kind of open metaverse that Disney and Epic have, it doesn't really show anything having to do with blockchain or NFTs. Now maybe they could make their way around it. Oh, if you have this digital collectible, you can get this skin. And maybe they do something with their own store and it's not NFTs and there's something else. But this is the way that the world is going. So most likely it's going to have something to do with NFTs, I think, at some point. Most likely, though, the scenario is that Disney and Epic have one giant metaverse, and Veve and Veveverse has another. Veve and the Veveverse, you're going to be able to use your Veve and Marvel NFTs in, and maybe at some point there's a bridge. I mean, even in the photo, there are multiple bridges and multiple ways to get certain places. I mean, if you go straight up to the world of Disney, down on the bottom corner, you see an X-Wing, and then you see a road. Where does that road lead? You have more X-Wings, and then what is that over there? Well, if you take a look underneath the ship from Lilo and Stitch, you go and you have this little skull island where the mermaids go and they swim. This is Neverland. This is Peter Pan. You have a bird. I'm not really sure what that's about or what that is. But again, you have where the mermaids swim. You have Peter Pan's land. And then again, Lilo and Stitch's one of the ships that they have in there. And then if you search really close there, it's really hard to make it out. But that is actually the Black Pearl. That is Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of a little bit away from the Disney cruise line they have. I'm not sure what that boat is right there. That could be maybe Anna and Elsa's parents. Maybe that's their boat from Arendelle. I don't know what that is. It could be the Little Mermaid boat before it went and sank. We're not sure. But again, you do have that Disney cruise line over there. And beyond the cruise line, you go and you see, oh, hey, what is that? That is from Moana. So maybe you could have Moana on that as well. And again, everything we see here, we have all of these licenses that we've gone over so far. If you go a little bit past that, you do see where they have Avatar. And Avatar over there, obviously not The Last Airbender, it's just the Blue Indian movie. We have a bunch of their birds. We're probably going to have their ships and all that. And if you move a little bit west from there, you see the Death Star. And after the Death Star, what do you see below that? You see Hoth. Hoth is the ice planet. That's where you have the AT-ATs. You see some TIE fighters over there. You see a bunch of really cool battle scenes. I'm not sure what that ship, that's not the Millennium Falcon. We'll get to that later. But again, you see some really cool battles. Then you see like the sun. And then that comes down to over here next to the Disney Cruise Line. What's circled is the partner statue. So the partner statue is something obviously that's synonymous with Vivi. The first appearance of Walt and Mickey on the blockchain, really special. You have another couple X-Wing up there. I'm not 100% sure what these are right here. Those are kind of a mystery. And then here it looks like it's Cinderella's castle. Cinderella's castle does kind of look like that from far away, so that's what I'm kind of saying that is right now. Obviously, this is not financial advice. This is not anything that is proven. It just looks like it. But Chavez, why are you talking about all this stuff with Disney and Epico if it has nothing to do with Vivi? Again, one, I do think most likely that the metaverses they're both interoperable. You said that right from Disney's mouth. That is going to be interoperable. Viviverse will be interoperable. They're likely going to be interoperable with each other. It's like, well, Chavez, is there any connection outside of Disney? Yes, there is. Again, you have Epic Games. That's the whole thing what Disney's doing. They are investing in Epic Games. Okay, well, Chavez, you've said Epic Games a while, but what does that mean? If you go to Cavernous and Cavernous's website, who are their partners down there? You see NVIDIA, you see Vivi, you see Unity, and that's Epic Games rolling across. So Cavernous, which is obviously working with Meta, NVIDIA, what is that down there? Magic Leap, Qualcomm, AWS, and Vivi, obviously, because Cavernous is building the Viviverse. They have Unity, which this is all on. This is all on the Unity engine. And they have Epico. Unity or Unreal. Either way, this is... The Viviverse will be dual, Unreal Engine and Unity. If we go over to the Disney announcement that they had today, the relationship, I'll show you. Yeah, it says Unreal is used to produce assets. And you can't see that because it's way too bright. So it is Unreal, but you did see the partnership between Cavernous and Epic. Okay, well, if Cavernous is building the Viviverse, and Cavernous is also the one that's kind of helping Epic. Now, are they helping Epic with this specific thing? We're not sure, but that's yet another relationship that they have. And going with Bob Iger, okay, didn't Bob Iger fire the Metaverse team? Yes, he did. Well, why? Well, there's a couple reasons. One of which is maybe he doesn't like the Metaverse. I think we can count that out because of what's happening with Epic. Well, maybe he just didn't like Bob Chapek's team. Bob Chapek is the one that hired the old Metaverse team. And maybe he just didn't like Bob Chapek, didn't want to work with his people. Or maybe he said, hey, I see what Cavernous is doing for Vivi. Let's hire Cavernous to kind of help with Epic. Or maybe, just maybe, again, a 1% chance, maybe 2% chance that what we're seeing here, that what we're seeing in this entire 45-second trailer that Disney launched, maybe that's not separate from the Viviverse. Maybe that is the Viviverse. Maybe some of these are our IP branded worlds. Now again, the IP branded worlds were supposed to have last year. We may or may not get this year. Disney and Epic just announced this, so they're not likely going to go and roll this out anytime soon. Not this week, next month, or even next year, or even later this year. We might not get it until next year. Kingdom Hearts was delayed for multiple years because of the stuff they kept adding. It might be similar to something like this. And again, just the fact that I'm saying it's a possibility that both of these things could be one and the same, that could be the Viviverse, doesn't mean that that's a reality or even anywhere close. I would say maybe that's a 1 to 2% chance, or a 97 to 98% chance is that they're separate, but they will most likely be connected through one way or another. And then, yeah, you have that 0.01% chance the Black Swan event, Vivi fails, this is completely different, and this is the beginning of the end for Vivi. But most likely it's just separate but equal, interoperable. Again, you have a lot of different ways to get from one world to the other. When we talk about all of the, looking at it as a whole, it looks like a giant raceway all around it. And when we get down here, what do we see? Well, we see Stark Tower, which is really the Avengers Tower, which we really have. I'm not 100% sure what we see down here, which I kind of told you before, but you have some Wreck-It Ralph over here. You have the dice over there. That's really cool outside. You have Belle and her Beauty and the Beast world over there. You go over and you have Monsters University, which is really cool. Again, in the middle, it's just the world of Disney, which everybody knows. If they've been to Disney World, Vivi Magic will tell you about that. You have their cafe that's really famous. You have the Nightmare Before Christmas, which is really cool. And then you have what looks like blueprints for another building. We're not sure what those are. Now, could that be apartment complexes that Dan had teased? Maybe. But if you go to the northwest of that, you go and you see a Millennium Falcon right under Lucasfilm, right under Marvel, which is right next to an ESPN. Now there's a Lucasfilm stadium and there's an ESPN stadium. Now, didn't Vivi go and retweet ESPN when they had the football, kind of in Andy's room? Is this connected? I don't know. You go and you have the giant Groot over there, which is really cool. Then down below that, you have the little Pixar ball for the Pixar stuff. You have 20th Century Fox. You have Walt Disney Animated Studios. Hang on one second. I have to finish this quick. My throat is giving out. You have Disney Plus. And then the Disney Plus, they're playing Toy Story on there. And then playing Toy Story on there is really cool. Above this, it looks like Arendelle. And then at the top left, it looks like Elsa's Castle. But this does look like Arendelle with Elsa's Castle. Above Marvel, it looks like the head that's on Nowhere. It was a Celestial. And it was a place that that you see in Guardians of the Galaxy, which again is super, super cool. And that seems to be all that I know for now. I suddenly just got really sick, so I'm going to have to end this video real quick. And then you have above Marvel, there is another land. I'm not 100% sure what it is. It is very, very bright. And the only thing I can think of is maybe like a Tron type of city. Again, I'm not 100% sure what that is. But let's go and see what David has to say. What does David Yu have to say about what Vivi did? Or not Vivi, about what Disney and Epic did. David Yu says, smiley face, big smiley face, tongue sticking out, and then glasses. Maybe like Apple glasses or Apple headset. To me, most likely this just means that David's excited of what Disney's doing with some of the IP that he shares now with Epic. And he's excited to see that maybe on the Apple Vision Pro headset. I would be very excited to see if we're able to see that on the Apple Vision Pro, because currently right now on Vivi, there's no AR function on the Apple headset. Speaking of that, I am going to get Anthony Duca of Cavernous over on the podcast. He will be coming on talking about the tech, all the things that he's doing on the Apple Vision Pro headset. I can't wait for that. And again, if most likely this is something that's going to be separate from Viviverse and Vivi, but it will benefit them. And there is that 1% chance, that shadow of a chance, that what we're looking at may or may not be Viviverse. And if it is, oh my God, the Crypto Rain's right. We'll go to like $100 billion market cap. Does that actually happen? I don't know. And again, most likely that's not what's happening, but I did have to address that because I have to go through all possibilities. Anyway, guys, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.